body kindness meditation and connecting to the earth. Lie down, preferably on a hard surface like the floor and the carpet, so that you can sense your whole body. So begin by checking in and scanning your body to sense which areas in your body are already comfortable. Areas that never give you any problems and that are just quietly there. And send them some appreciation for always supporting you, never giving you any problems, never shouting out in pain, but always there, knowing of a deep internal support. And when you have connected to those deep, supportive areas, notice the neighbors who have a lot of voices and don't quite know yet how to find a landing site and connect to the earth. So allow yourself to really be compassionate with those voices, because they often have an underlying message that are calling for you to help them to get home. But this time, they're going to learn from the neighbors of support. So the neighbors of support are inviting the ones that are not so comfortable and welcome them into a deeper resonance of support. So sense what doesn't quite know yet how to find a way to land on the earth and receive its deep welcome. Here you are, and there is a place for you here and right now. And you might even begin to enjoy this invitation to be here and now. And together we will all now enjoy some movements that will connect us deeper to the earth and all of its amazing gifts and pleasures. So as you're lying there stretched out on the floor, on the surface that you're lying on, sense how your head and neck may want to move just a tiny bit, a fraction of a movement, from left to right and right to left, just a couple of times. And you may want to direct this movement from your crown chakra, from your halo, or your lotus blossom, the top of your head. Sense the energy there first. That so happily will move your head just a little bit. And you can just be the observer how this functions so softly, so easily, with your deep consciousness that less movement is more sensing, more and deeper connection. So make sure that between every 2 or 3 movements there is a pause in which you can trust that the body knows how to reprogram deeply once it gets a suggestion, just the slightest suggestion from you about the quality that you would like to intend. So while you're making these tiny movements, sense the deeper quality of connection that your body is now ready to explore, and that your mind is allowing. Your mind is allowing. And so with this allowance, you're allowing your knees to rise towards the ceiling, placing your feet on the floor, and letting the feet shoulder width apart rest over your feet. So they're not tilted, but they are resting, the knees are resting over your feet. So make sure this position is comfortable. And now sense a root of light going deep, 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 deep down, down, down into the center of the earth, connecting to the light below your body, into the richness and the immense creativity of all that's going on in the earth. So a beam of light is moving down from the front of your foot, and then you can also involve your heel with this. So your whole foot is turning into light, and this message of light is connecting deep into the earth and with the earth. You can now feel this connection through your entire body. And don't make a big deal of it, because it's happening anyway. It's happening anyway with the slightest thought of your creative being. And now as you step a little bit into your right foot, your right hip joint is engaged, and as it is lifting just a tiny bit, it is sending information to your left shoulder diagonally across the body, that the two of them may want to connect. So let's start this really slowly, moving from your right hip joint towards your spine, towards the middle of your spine in a diagonal way. So you are slowly moving into the direction of the middle of your spine and then back again to your hip joint, your right hip joint. And just do this a couple of times from your right hip joint to the middle of your spine and back again. And as you're making this movement, you're pressing a little bit into the floor to get a little bit closer to the earth. And then the next time, after pausing, the next time you're engaging your hip joint and it's moving diagonally towards your spine, and then beyond your spine, pressing the ribs slightly into the floor, into the earth, throwing the earth a kiss with your rib basket, and then with your scapula that's riding over the ribs, sense that triangle, and the energy is pressing itself a little bit, connecting more deeply to the earth, the surface that you're lying on, and into your left shoulder. So you have this lovely diagonal line, and now returning back diagonally across your torso towards your right hip joint. And now in your own time, your own quality of movement, slowly, precisely, easily, no big deal. You repeat this a few times. And always make sure that you're pausing ever so often in between. And also noting that the return is as easily, as precise as the going towards the shoulder. Okay, and now stretch out and rest and let it all go into deep connection of your light body in the earth. What is a deep rest? What is a welcome by the earth and through your body? How can you just simply observe having a body and observing it simultaneously from a bit of a distance? And now bring your feet up again to standing, shoulder widths apart about, letting your knees rest over the feet. And before you begin this diagonal movement again, allow your head and neck move a little bit again. From right to left and left to right. With the smallest quality of movement, the smallest range of movement, but the biggest quality of sensing. Sensing your crown chakra activating and lovingly moving your head and neck from left to right and right to left, slowly. Can you slow it down even more? So that you can send an entirely new message about what quality of connection you desire with yourself and the body of the earth. Don't forget to pause, because in the pause, all the intelligence and all of your loving intentions will combine to support you in this, without you having to move into doing. This is where the being happens. All by itself, all on its own, without you having to direct it. And so now, with your feet standing, do the same movement again from right hip joint, pressing a little bit into the floor and going diagonally across to your left shoulder. replacing the one-sided movement on the right side by engaging the left, the neighbor, and returning just as elegantly from your left shoulder to your right hip joint. And your foot continues to send the message of light into the earth, and your whole body receiving the teeming energy in the earth. The energy that turns seeds into plants. Miraculously. Make sure you pause in between the movement. Allowing the great pause to be part of your consciousness. And then when you're ready, stretch out and rest again, sensing the completeness of non-asking into just being. And remember, it's happening anyway. Your intention is enough. And in this place, move your head a little bit again from left to right, the same quality of movement. From your crown chakra, from the wisdom place, from the connection with all that is, all that is. And when you're ready, lift your knees off the ground again, place your feet on the surface that you're lying on. And shoulder width apart, the knees resting over your feet. And then begin the same movement starting on your left hip joint, engaging your left hip joint and then pressing into the ground, into the floor, into the light connection, diagonally across your body, across your torso, into the right shoulder, going across your spine, through the rib house, into the scapula, the shoulder bone, and ending up in the roundness of the shoulder joint. sense that shoulder joint, sending this light beam down into the earth. So your whole body is now connecting by sensing its weight, donating its weight to gravity and connecting to the surface and beyond that you're lying on, becoming the light body that you are. And you're now experiencing the realm beyond physical reality, which is just a concept, into the reality of light that is creating humans in the first place. So in this light body, we have and carry forever this immense creativity, the place of remembrance, of light being, of unstoppable and endless creativity. And that from this intention of remembrance, you create a body that knows how to move effortlessly. With effortless effort. Being one with all that is. And now within this divine self, you're letting go of the limbs and you stretch out to rest again in this much deeper knowing of who you are, and maybe even why you're here and how you got here. And what you are here for. And take all of this into the deep consciousness of your being and appreciate your willingness to be here on this beautiful planet, an emerald in the universe.